Hey, happy people. So today, you already read the title, we're going to make some jerky. So let's see if I can do this. This will be my first time ever. So I already have some hot water boiling over here because we're going to need that to boil. And you definitely need a dehydrator. I know you guys can't see this. A dehydrator. So to start out first, we need Vital Wheat gluten. This is actually 1 cup of Vital Wheat gluten. And I got a half a cup of water and a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Going to mix that together. And I also have 1 tablespoon of steak seasoning. Give us a beef-like flavor with it. And set that right there. We're just going to stir this up. Get that all mixed up together. Now you just pour this in your Vital Wheat gluten. Don't pour it all at one time because it just depends on your Vital Wheat gluten if it's in your climate. You may not need it all because you don't want it to be soggy, but you need it to be like a dough-like consistency. So make your little well on the inside and just start pouring you a little bit. You're going to need at least half of it, but not all of it in the beginning. Just start out with a little bit and keep working your way. You don't want this to be soggy. You need it to be solid. You don't want to squeeze it and liquid comes out. But you need enough liquid for your flour to come together. Your Vital Wheat gluten, should I say. And I think now this is where you get your hands dirty. See, to me that's almost a little too squishy because my hands are kind of wet and I didn't even use the whole thing. Yeah. But you want to work your dough a little bit, you know, knead it. I'm horrible at that, so this is the way I'm going to do it. So now move that out the way. And what we want to do is I'm going to divide this so it can cook faster into 4s. We'll do that one in small ones, and we'll keep this for making longer strips. So here's the deal. Turn your pot on with your boiling water, and we're going to drop these in here for about 3 to 5 minutes. Just long enough for them to get stiff enough for us to actually like cut slices, because right now cutting slices off of this would be very hard. It wouldn't come out very well. Like I said, I'm going to leave this one a little longer because it's bigger. And let them go for 3 to 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Wash my hands. Okay, so our dough meat has been cooking for about 5 minutes now. So you just want to look for it to have some give back to it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you want it to not be so mushy. You can't be able to push all the way down through it. So after that, you want to take it out, give it time to cool down to the touch so you can actually cut it, but you don't want it to be so cold, and that is warm. No, that's hot. But Definitely want that, keep your water on because you're going to still need it. So add a little extra if you need to while you're waiting on your meat to cool down. And let me actually add a little bit more water to that. Don't want to burn my pot. Don't want to burn my pot. Not as cool as I would like, but I want to get this thing. So now, can you guys see that? I don't know if you can. You're just going to cut as thin as strips as you could possibly get. Some of them I'm going to make a little thicker because, you know, when you get beef jerky, like you got the thin strips, you get the big strips, you get the fun little sizes. You just never know what's going to come out the package or how it's going to be shaped. So I'm just going to cut little strips. Like, that is a thin strip that has a little meaty to it, so that way when I get ready to chew on it, it'll have like a jerky style. So let's cut these up. This one is not as hot anymore, so still warm though. Probably want to use a serrated knife, that'll help. But thin as you could possibly get some of them. Don't burn yourself, people. Like, as my husband had always say, I got cast iron skillet hands, so it's hot, but I can handle it. They do not have to be perfect. They can break apart in little pieces. You know, when you open your jerky bag, there's all different sizes and pieces and shapes. But if you are going to make something really thick, make sure you separate them from the pile of the thinner ones, so you can, when you put them in your dehydrator, you can put them on the same tray at the same time, so the smaller ones won't get so crisp, but they'd be really hard, because they're definitely not going to dehydrate at the same time. Now, as you can see, like, this is a thicker strip than this strip, so I'm going to put this over here because this is definitely going to be a different tray than this little bitty thin strips. Alright, now that we have our pieces all cut up into little shapes here, little thin strips, what we're going to do is just put them back in our boiling hot water for just a few minutes. You just need them to kind of, the inside part there that didn't get the cook on the outside, because you really want to cook that vitamin gluten all the way through. You don't want to actually taste that because it's very earthy, very raw. So just let those come to a boil again, and then we'll take them out and we can start dehydrating. But while they are doing this, we will make our marinade. So let's put that over there. I need this bowl. So for our marinade, I have 1 cup of coconut aminos. Since this won't be being cooked, it won't be being heated, it'll just be being since this won't be heated, it'll just be dehydrated. I'm using the coconut aminos. I feel comfortable with it today. And then I have 1/4 cup of agave. This This will help giving that little sweetness extra that people like, but also help your marinade stick to it. Then I got a tablespoon of liquid smoke. And on this little tray right here, we have a tablespoon and a half of onion powder, a tablespoon and a half of garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, a teaspoon of black pepper, teaspoon of paprika, and of course the teaspoon of ginger. You know, I gotta put ginger in everything if I can. Stir it all up together. Now this is a lot of seasonings in this. You may not want that much if you don't like your jerky to be really salty or seasoned. Because remember, this right here is going to shrink up as it's in a dehydrator, like the jerky is going to shrink, so then your flavor is going to be very, very concentrated. I personally like flavored jerky. I like the salty stuff, so if you don't like it to be that salty, then cut back on your spices and seasonings. Add whatever you like. If you want some teriyaki jerky, do that one. If you like the black pepper one, do that one. If you like a sweet one, do that too. Pepperoni, whatever you like. But that right there seems about good. And let's check on these. I think I could stand a minute more. Alright, so our jerky is boiling pretty good, so I'm just going to take a bowl with a strainer in it and strain these out. Let's move this over there. So just let that strain out, let some of that water drain off so your marinade don't just slide right off. Alright, so now what we're going to do is just take our pieces and put it in the marinade. I'm just going to dump them all in there instead of one by one. Mix that up pretty good. Get some marinade all over all of it. If you can, try to let this marinate for, 10 minutes or so. The longer you can, of course, the more flavorful it'll be. Give it time to work through. But I'm just going to let this go here I'm going to let it sit right here and marinate for about 10 minutes before I put it on the dehydrator. So I'll be right back. Move this, get the dehydrator set up. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. I have let this set for 10 minutes, so now we're just going to put it on our dehydrator and let it go for a few hours. We'll start with first. To keep this from getting so dirty, I have put parchment paper in here. Just enough to don't cover all of your holes, because then you won't dehydrate very quickly. But leave yourself some holes in between with the parchment paper, so that way this won't be so nasty afterwards. It won't be so hard to clean up, and the airflow will continue to go through all of them. If you have another one with a little pad already, then you don't need this. Or if it's a square one, but mine is not. As you can see, it's a little circle one from like cheap one from Amazon. I bought a few years back. Still works. So starting with that, and we're going to do the longer strips first because they're probably going to take the longest to dehydrate. Try to move that in view so y'all can see. And just load your dehydrator up. Don't put them so close together. The closer you put them together, the less airflow, the longer it'll take to dehydrate. This is very messy. But what do I say? You ain't making a mess, or you really cooking. Alright, that is all of my pieces. I still got one tray left and a lot of marinade. I don't know. I might make another one of this. But we're going to put the top on this. Move this. Now, turn the dehydrator on. Mine is in Celsius, so I'm going all the way up to 70 degrees Celsius, but you want that to be about 160 Fahrenheit. If you're putting this in the oven, then just drop your oven as low as it can possibly go. And if it doesn't go lower than like 170 or something and you're worried about it like burning, open the door just a little bit so the air can just kind of come out a little bit. It's going to make your house hot. But open the door a little bit and so the air can circulate so it doesn't crisp the edges so bad that it burns it. But my dehydrator is in Celsius, so 70 degrees Celsius or 160 Fahrenheit if yours is a Fahrenheit one. But if you're putting it in the oven, just lowest temperature you can possibly get. Now, it says to leave this on here for a couple of hours before you check it. You want to check the smaller pieces first to make sure they're, see if they're all the way dehydrated, because they're going to dehydrate faster, the thinner ones, but the larger ones may take a little longer time. So I am going to clean this up and I'm going to check it in about an hour just to make sure, and I'll give you guys an update and we'll see if we're ready to taste any of it, because I'm excited. I want to see if I can have jerky at home without buying the like strips or whatever that's in the store, because they're expensive, y'all. And I'm greedy, so to pay a lot and eat one bag in one sitting is too much. So if I can make my own, that'll be even much better. I buy Vital Wheat gluten all the time, and I have all of these ingredients at home, so why not just make it at home? And I know what's in it. Alright, so be back when we're ready to check the dehydrator. Okay, I just want to show you guys it has been way longer than 2 hours, more like 7 hours. They actually now, that looks like a good piece of jerky right there. I did taste one, and you can see one is missing right there. Good flavor. So now I think I'm just going to turn it off and let it set for a minute. I don't want them to be too hard. I want them to be bendable. I think that's pretty good. I mean, especially the little pieces. They are pretty good. It has the beef-like texture when you pull it. It has that toughness to it. You have to bite into it. So I think I'm going to turn this off. Now this is just some extra I added after I turned off the camera, just to use up the sauce. But I'm not really. Those are pretty good. Alright, so you definitely got to get a chew. So just going to turn this off for now. Let it all cool down. And then we'll come back and give it a taste test. Alright, we're back. It has been over 7 hours. I would say 9 hours at this point. Like, I cut it off at 7 hours. It did not dehydrate in 2 hours. That could be just because my dehydrator, it's old and it's a cheaper one. But if you have a good one, then definitely keep check on it after the 2 hours, like every hour or so, checking it. But all done. I don't know if you guys can see that, but they are done. Can you see that? You can see the flavor on there. And I already tasted them earlier because I'm greedy, so I had to check it out. But they are actually pretty good. The flavor is good. Gives you that bold flavor like most jerky does. And it's not like really hard. It is chewy. Like, you have to give it a pull to tear it apart. I'm going to say it's a winner. Like, I used to love jerky. Used to buy a lot of it. So the fact that I haven't had jerky in a long time, and the one that I did have a couple of times as being plant-based, like I say, they were really expensive and you don't get a lot of them. So with this, I got a whole little bowl right here. It didn't cost me that much. It was actually ingredients I had at home. I didn't have to go out to buy anything to make this. So hey, give it a try. You know, if you don't like it, you can change the recipe up a little bit, but I think it's better to probably make your own jerky at home. And with that, y'all stay happy.
Stress.